everybody. Welcome to the Trucking Tower podcast and this Expert Insight segment. I'm excited to be joined today by Tuvache Betton. How are you doing today, Tuvache?
I'm doing awesome. How are you doing today?
Doing really well. You know, you and I both work in this IT and marketing and sales space, so I was really excited to have you on with me. So let me just give you a little intro for you. So Tuvache is the Director of Business Development with BKJ Digital. They work on app dev, content management, and fractional IT services. And he's also a coach and consults with companies on product structure, go-to-market strategy, web dev, and IT. So does that pretty much sum it up?
I wear many hats.
And he's got a smooth voice. I told him he could definitely be on radio if he felt like it as well. So I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your thoughts and insights with us just to kick things off.
Yeah, thank you.
What happened? Who are you surrounded with that inspired you to do what you do today?
Well, yeah, thanks for asking. The owners of BKJ saw some of my other projects with companies like Evergreen International and Coaching in Life, and saw that I was doing things like product structure, content creation, and just basic team building. And they wanted to develop a outbound business development department for their company. BKJ was working with companies like Symantec for about 10 years before they were purchased from Broadcom, and then continued doing more projects for Broadcom over the past few years. So I was basically just given a brand new department to build at my pace, which has been just an amazing challenge in my sales and business development career, just kind of taking all the years of awesomeness and building it out from there.
Very good. Yeah, the network is so important, you know, who you know and what you've done, and you just never know where these things are going to lead. I've found that to be true throughout my career. So in terms of advice, what are some of the top 2 or 3 success secrets that you can share with others that they can model from?
Don't avoid the phone. Talk to people. You know, people are really, you know, they're very afraid to talk to people now. Talk to people. You learn so much, not only from your own personal experiences, but by the experience of other people, and how that builds your business as well as make you a better professional. Don't try to do too much too quickly. Narrow down some of your offerings as far as a business. Coming on board with this company, like, we do so much and so awesome, and it's great to be an agile company, but just kind of narrow it down to just a few core competencies, because you don't want to confuse people. Since we all work from home, the biggest one for me is procrastination and being distracted. I'll be honest, I own it. You know, that door starts knocking, the dog starts barking, and you're just like, oh, what happened, squirrel? So those are some of mine.
All right, and on the flip side of that, what are some of the top mistakes to avoid? You know, pitfalls to avoid in based on what you've seen throughout your career.
Just people not selling with integrity. You don't want to get a bad reputation. You want to avoid just going for a deal, as opposed to creating a solution and building a bond and relationship with the person that you're working with. Being afraid of running through the wall. A lot of times, especially since, and I'm sure you can appreciate and understand this from a sales perspective, there are certain days you just do not feel like dealing with the people. You don't want to deal with the rejection. People can sometimes be a little different. And so, but you understand and you have complete faith in yourself. So just knuckle down. You know what you're there for. You know that what you do, you provide is to help their business be better. Take stress off their plate, make an organization move better. And so they need to know that. So that's on you to make that happen.
Absolutely. Great advice. You know, people buy from people they know, like, and trust. So, and you've got to build up that trust factor. I think that's really important. So what are you working on, and how can we support you?
Oh, right now we are in our growth process of trying to work with a lot more VC groups, venture capital groups. We have an understanding since BKJ. We, as I mentioned before, we do a ton of things, but from a venture capital's point of view, a lot of VCs are making investments in organizations. Some organizations are brand new. So since we can do things like content creation, CMS design, app development design, working with them to develop tool sets that could definitely help a company get that product, get that idea, get that investment up and running a lot faster. We also working with companies that are in current places of acquisition. And companies are from both a web design, app modernization. We can also do application mediation. But while they're going through that, we work with companies like companies that provide network visibility. So basically, we go in with a big network bloodhound to find what works, what's not working. Then we can also do the custom work to get things to work a lot more professionally. We work with enterprise-sized companies, work with content management, web development, chief operating officers, and we have a host of tools and tricks and trades to kind of move the needle forward.
Very good. Well, we're fortunate. We get about 18,000 views a month,
Nice.
a little bit over that and growing. And in that network is VCs and entrepreneurs and executives. So if nothing else, you're definitely going to get a lot of eyeballs on this. So that should work out well. In booking and coming on the show, what would you say overall about your guest experience?
Super smooth. It kind of came out of nowhere. You guys reached out and you go on, you clicked. It's very, very smooth. I would absolutely do this again.
Okay. Well, very good. Well, you're fun to talk with. We got to talk offline before you came on, and you're a fun guy to get to know. So I would encourage people to reach out to you and connect, and similar way that we did, and start a conversation. So what would you say as a final word of advice for people out there?
The world has changed, and the building relationships in this very nebulous environment is very important. Like I mentioned earlier, don't be afraid of change. Don't be afraid of talking to people. We're all in this together. From our side of the house, just try to figure out how to move that needle forward, and just keep moving forward.
Absolutely. The world definitely did change, and it's been fun for me during the last year. I've met a lot of people through LinkedIn and doing Zoom meetings like this. Mm-hmm. And it's fun. It's fun networking. It's different, than going into a conference room and shaking hands and so forth, but it's still fun. So it definitely has changed, but great words of advice. And, I really appreciate you coming on today, sharing your tips for success, pitfalls to avoid. And so thanks again for joining me, Tuvache.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much for the invitation. I look forward to it again.
Absolutely. And that's going to do it for this segment of the Trucking Tower Podcast Expert Insights. We'll see you guys soon. Take care.